It seems so absolutely crazy to me to be saying this, but I am doing a custom reading journal for one of my friends for 2025. Now, I've gotten into doing custom bullet journal videos, and I have a whole bunch of information on that I will link, and custom flip throughs for you to view if you're interested. But this one in particular is going to be a reading journal. My friend Sam, for at least a year now, has been nagging me to create a book journal content piece of some sort so she can use. And she said, I'll do stickers, I'll do notepads, I'll do anything. And here is me just setting aside some time and creating a custom bullet journal for her for Christmas this year. I am so excited to get this going, especially after doing my plan with me from November with that book, fairy tale, fantasy theme. It really is hitting home creating this reading journal, and it just makes me want to create one, honestly, for myself all the more. Here I'm just starting off with a bookshelf and coming in with a couple of decorative elements. I'm using my Crayolas, my Tombos, my Micron pens to create all of these spreads. I personally tried to include different elements like plants and different shelf decor that you might see to separate the books. On the bookshelf edges, you will see those little numbers popping out. It was just to make sure that I had enough of the books for her, because her goal, I think, for 2025, I'm really hoping I'm right, is to read 100 books. Friggin' crazy to me considering I think this year I've read 14, but she is already at 80 books so far, and there's still 2 weeks left in December for her to finish this off. So kudos to her. She will probably be getting 100 books next year, and I wanted to make sure that she had the space for that on the bookshelf and all the other spreads as well that I'm creating. This reading log is a very classic, traditional reading journal, book journal spread. Just seeing what you read, the date that you read it, who wrote it, what the title was, when you started it, when you finished it, and then your overall rating. So I wanted to keep it really simple with a lot of the spreads that I'm creating. I wanted to stay within the same color palette and the same simplicity because the books are really the star of this journal, and I want them to pop out on the page, whether it's her doing some fancy lettering or putting in photos of the book covers or elements that might come from the books as well. That is what I want to be the star of the show. For this books to read, again, I'm keeping it super simple. I've just divided the page in half so that she'll have a little bit more space to put on her TBR list and write out. Ideally, I was just thinking the title would be enough space for that, but it leaves loads of room for over 100 in that as well. Next up is the book release dates. Here is a one that I don't know if she'll use as much, so I didn't leave a lot of space. I just did a 2-spread page, but I've kept it simple again, putting it in a chart, writing down the title, the author, the date that the book is being released, and then the price of that product as well. One that we're waiting for right now together is the release of Onyx Storm in the Fourth Wing series. It's coming out in January. We're both pumped. It's both on our TBR list, and we are going back and rereading the 2 books, and I'm so pumped. This quote page here, I've kept it really simple, and I am just leaving it up to her to design, really. Whether she wants to go back in and put little arrows or just write out a list of the favorite quotes, totally up to her. The bookshelf overview, I love this one. I think it's going to be one of my top spreads. It's not my favorite. I have another favorite coming, and I love that one. I think this one might be my second favorite, just because it's going to be a visual of all of the books read. And I'm using my little star stickers here that I created just to make everything super uniform when it comes to coloring in the different ratings given for each of these books. Now, I left room for over 100 books here again, just in case she does surpass what her goal is going to be. Something fun that we found going around social media was book bingo. and I thought it would be a lot of fun for her to fill in this herself for a little book bingo spread. I've done a spread like this before. I think it was in my self-care video series. I'll link that one up above in case you're interested to see how it looks and just another idea. But basically, I just created a 5x5 grid here. The middle one is for free, and you can go on in and fill all of these squares to whatever goal or task that you want to accomplish. So for a book one, reading like a fantasy book, reading 5 series, reading whatever, fill in the blank. Another challenge is the alphabet challenge. This one I haven't done personally, but kind of want to do in 2025 as well. You read a book with every single letter of the alphabet, all the way from A until Z, so I think that'll be a fun challenge for her as well. Up there in my favorite spreads is this 2025 favorites. Underneath on the left-hand side, I've kept it really simple. Just a little printout ideally is what I'm thinking is going to go in here for each month. So January all the way until December, I'll print out a cover, or she'll print out a cover, I guess, of her favorite book that month. And then underneath each of these squares, I did end up putting in another one of those rating stickers so she can come on in and kind of see if it is a 4-star, 5-star rating for that month. On the right hand side, I did it a little bit different, and I had a competition really between all of the different top tier books that was read to figure out what the 2025 winner of the year is going to be for December all the way until January. It's going to be super simple for her to fill in just the title and then figure out what that winner is going to be. Now, here is where my favorite spread comes into play. I am such a statistics girly. I absolutely love seeing how many books I've read, how many pages, what my favorite genre is, how long it's taken me to read a book, and this literally has all of that. I broke the top down just with what my goal is for reading the books, how many actually read, who my favorite author would be, favorite genre, all for her to fill in with this custom journal. And then I did just put the book of the year, quote of the year, and then a couple notes that I want to put down as well as an option for her. Here is the statistics that I love. I actually got this idea from the app Storygraph that I use to track all of my reading, breaking it down into fiction, nonfiction, doing page numbers, how many star ratings, and then as well as the number of books read for every single month. Those are the stats that I really love to pull and look at. And here is a paper physical one for her to fill in with all of her statistics. It does look a little empty right now, but it will look really full once she is done putting in all of her information, which is what I cannot wait to see how it looks like at the end of 2025. Another one that I pulled from a mood tracker usually is where I see this being used is a yearly pixels or a year in pixels. Here is where she'll be able to just create her legend, whether it's how many pages read or type of book completed, chapters, whether it is paper audio or whether it's digital, whatever her legend wants to be, she can just fill that on in every single day to kind of track her reading a little better. One thing that I wanted to do too is give a monthly breakdown option. So here I just created a 1-page spread for every single month for her to track her different statistics as well. So for January here, you'll see I have this little race track around the top part of the page. Ideally, what I'm thinking is this is going to get colored in every single day when she reads. Or if it is, do I read a certain amount of pages, or did I read this day? Whatever her goal is for her reading, that is kind of a little bit of a habit tracker for her. And then in the center, it is the goal for her month, what she actually ended up reading, the number of pages that she read, and the number of days that she read, along with her favorite book. On the bottom is tracking the different types of books that was read throughout the month. I did leave room, I think it goes up to 16 spaces here, and that is well over what the amount she would need to fill in for her goal of 100 books for the year. So I think I'm safe, fingers crossed. The last spread that I created was the traditional book review spread. I left this gray box here for her to print off again the cover photos of the books, and then just left room for things like author, genre, formats, when she started and finished it, her rating, her actual review of the book. And then the bottom, I wrote out favorites, favorite character, favorite plot twist, favorite fill in the blank, and then notes just in case she wanted to do something else. But that is really it. I did it 100 times because it is a custom for the journal. But I will be doing a flip through of her custom next week, so stay tuned for that video.